and dear moderator, my good friend Dr. Ganeshan, esteemed senior professionals, particularly my teacher and my mentor, Professor Eva Esundi, Dr. A.D. Prasad from Indian Statistical Institute, Madam DVK, Madhulli, and other learned speakers of different plenary speakers, and my dear rest delegates. Very good afternoon to you all. My job is very simple. Even Father John asked me to talk tomorrow of the space management. When Devika is talking about content management, I want to correlate with how content management is more important in space management also. I consider that the content and space is the two faces of the same coin. It has to go by hand in hand, either virtual content or a digital content or a physical content. That's what I chosen this topic along with Dr. Devika. And what I consider that content in a traditional library, content in a digital library, or content in a virtual library. So content is a content is a king of our library environment. Without content, there is no library, or there is no library concept at all. What Dr. S. R. Ranganathan has predicted, if any, we consider as a library, we need three important components. One is a document, another is a user, another is staff. So if you come to the digital environment, is that the content is a king and space is a queen. It has to go by hand in hand. Without content or without king, there is no point in having the establishing the kingdom or the queen. That's what I feel, that it may be a library space or a virtual space. If a virtual space taken into consideration as a server, we need to have a space to fix the server. If you go for the even cloud, we need a space for virtual space. In that context, my topic is more of correlated with what Devika already spoke about that. I will start with Ranganathan principle. Since morning speakers, they mentioned that 5 laws of library science. The 5th law of library science, which having the close associate with this space management, the library is a growing organism. When you consider as a library is a growing organism, in terms of the collection is growing, in terms of the user is growing, in terms of infrastructure is growing. In the same way, how we can redefine our library space. That is the most important, rather than the expanding the library building. The expansion of the library building, which comes to be environmental friendly, and also it should be user friendly. When it comes to the redefining the library space, we have to look into that. There is a new concept called library commons, or information commons, or learning commons. Okay, these three we wanted to keep in mind, right, while redesigning the library system. More particularly, I have seen that through literature, there are libraries redefining or restructuring their public library system in many parts of the world. One, I can quote example, Hong Kong Public Library, that totally they reshaped the library building, looking at the present day the users. Means the first they have 3 floors of digital library building and 7 floors of traditional library building. Means both the buildings, they are parallelly they maintaining that to satisfy all types of user community. In that context, here is the Ranganathan principle. Still it is relevant. Friends, when you look at the changing paces of library and changing phases of the content, the content starts with from clay tablet to the present digital content. Okay, yes, we libraries are always coping up with the content which is changing, or the environment which is changing. And where we have started from the Stone Age, where we have a palm leaf or parchment or papyrus or even clay tablet, even will have some kind of a caves, the returns, pictures. And then we have moved from, that's called pre-paper based libraries. And again, thanks to the print media, Gutenberg generation, where we'll find a lot of books has been published, a lot of journals has been published, where they have started managing the paper-based libraries. Yes, thanks to the technology, when the technology came into force, particularly computer and related technology, where we have started library automation with the Library of Congress, the MARC project, where the computerization of our library activities is. And when they started, the publishers, they started publishing the print into the electronic resources, where we have adapted from the traditional library to automated library, and we have created the electronic library, and also we have created the electronic space for that. Of course, now when the content is moved to the digital, print to the electronic to the digital content, both born digital content and digitized content, where we have created a digital library of that. Now the people are talking about the mobile-based applications. Yes, we libraries as providing the mobile-based content or mobile-based information services, like moving from the card catalog to the OPAC to the web OPAC to the now M-OPAC, we are called as an M-OPAC, mobile-based OPAC system. That's what, whatever the changes which is happening in around us, definitely we library professionals and libraries is responding to the changes which is happening in around us. When it comes to the technology part, that now the technology is superseding, either in the content level or in the space level. Okay, when you look at we have information identification technology, information capturing technologies, or information storage technology, or information display technology, and also we can talk about technology of technologies, whatnot. Even robots are in libraries, University of Tokyo, and also in the National Library of Seoul and Korea, and already they have adapted this kind of an automatic retrieval system where the robot can search the information and display the content. Friends, before redesigning our space in the library system, how this technology is influencing on libraries, how we have to redefine our library system. Of course, we have explained very in detail in our paper. Professor Asundi sir has had a lot of content in that. Really, it's a very useful paper. Both the library professionals or information science professionals, even the web professional, they wanted to redesign the content management system. This is a very theoretical perspective paper. It's highly useful for them. Friends, when you look at the changing perspective from the earlier we are talking about the collection development, we are not at all talking about the collection now. Now we are to have access. How much collection we have doesn't matter, that how many collections we are ready to access that. That's what we have moved from the print material to digital material and whatnot. There are other, it is a self-explanatory table. One can easily read and understand that. If you name any kind of a content, which is now it is available in electronic formats. That's what you name any kind of a content. Either it may be patent, or it may be a standard, even it may be a reference sources, either dictionary or encyclopedias or biographies, whatever. Every content which is now it is all available in electronic or online formats. That's what when you're looking at these development, how we can redefine our library system, particularly our library space. This is what one should keep in your mind while designing a library building. We have to create some kind of a learning commons, rather than putting a word like keep silence. That is the days are gone. People don't want to keep silence in the library. They want to talk. They want to interact. They want to question. That's what they need to have a space for discussion. Okay, a space for charting. Okay, a space for exchanging the ideas in a loud manner, where we wanted to a common area to support out of classroom. In the classroom, sometimes they may not able to interact with the teacher, whereas out of classroom, they would like to interact with the friends, the classmates. That's what we need to think of that. And also community practices. Community practices that some students having the extraordinary cultural knowledge. Yes, we need to create a space in the library where they can exhibit their talent. That's what we need to redesign by knowledge creation. Okay, we have to, the libraries to be act as a knowledge creator, not only knowledge disseminator, it should also knowledge creator. And of course, we need to have a collaborative teaching and learning environment where the teacher can bring the students to the library. Then they started explaining the concept from the reference sources, concept from the textbook, conference from some kind of an advanced source. That's what we need to have a collaborative teaching. We need to collaborate with the teaching. What are their expectations? Okay, what are their teaching needs? Okay, what are their learning needs? What are their what do you call that? I want to talk about tomorrow one particular unit. Can you support material to complete that particular unit? That's kind of some kind of a collaboration with we need to have. Of course, we have to have a comfortable zones. In the comfortable zones, I'll come to the later stage. Whenever you talk about library space management, Here is a two important point is that we need to think of that we have to have to divide our library collection. One is active library collection and passive library collection. The collection which is not used more than 5 years, the collection which is not touched even 10 years, then what is the point of keeping those collection in the active collection? Therefore, we need to think of that we need to archive these. I'm not telling that we have to throw out from the library. We have to have some kind of a compact space where we can have a passive collection, and we make it as an active collection in a circulation counter. That one should maintain the closest stack library with a limited selection, and another is we have to have an open stack library, and of course learning commons with Wi-Fi technology. And how we can redefine the library space is based on the library size and existing facilities. Library size in the sense of number of users, okay, number of departments, number of courses which is offered, and of course we need to take up the usage rate. Instead of expanding the library building or construction of the as many as floors, but how many users are really visiting the library, that also we have to take into consideration. And of course the workflow of the staff, okay, and the comments or suggestion received from the users point of view and also as the librarians. This is a prototype design which I have taken from the Hong Kong University. Now they have totally redesigned the library space, looking at the earlier slide which you have mentioned, and totally they have made the different zones called inspiration zone. Library has to inspire. We have to pull out what are the talents of the individual people, and that's what we'll have an interaction zone. We'll have a lot of discussion going to take place, and we'll have a learning zone where is a serious reading. Yes, we need to provide a learning zone. Of course, there are users, they're very interested in reading in a silent area. Yes, we'll make some kind of a silent zone also. These are there. I think I have referred so many restructuring of library building plan. This is very touched near to my heart because I worked as a college librarian in a college library. I know what is the problem in a college library space. And also I moved to the university library. I know that what are the problems related to library space in the university. That's what one can adopt these kind of a plan. Just I'm not marketing, just I'm suggesting that you can look at the many plans and accordingly you can redesign your library building plan. Okay, this is a zone which they have established. There is a workstation for individual study and workstation for small study group and workstation for the group study area and the group discussion forum. That's what we have to have some kind of a redesigning our library system looking at the international or national developments. My suggestion, last slide is seating places. We need to have a comfortable furnitures and setting. The comfortable furnitures in that users can feel that I can sit longer hours. I should not get any back pain or anything. I should be very comfortable in a seating area. That's what one should need to that. Seating by windows, people they prefer to sit nearby windows where they can get the natural lighting or natural air. That's what we have to have. And individual study quirrels, of course, for serious readers. And a workstation with high-end bandwidth or the softwares. And comfortable sofas which they want, seating with planets, extending the desk width and sharing session. That's what whenever we wanted to share our library resources, we wanted to share our orientation program or conducting an information literacy program for our user community where we need to have a space for that. Of course, many libraries, they're concentrating on internal and external training program for working professionals, okay, on-site signing and outside training also. Okay, this is what you call the overall the silent zone with a mobile-free zone or where sometime informal sitting. Now the student, they wanted to sit in a chair. They want to have some kind of informal sitting also. We need to concentrate on that. Of course, content, I'm not talking about that, as she has already talked about. In conclusion, that my core concept is that there is one institute called LEAD India. That means that leadership in energy and environmental design. Okay, this LEAD India has developed a certain model for like industrial building, non-government organization building, and also they developed a certain criteria for library building. You have a look into that whenever you are free. And another interesting a council called Indian Green Building Council, which is again is constituted by under the Department of Science and Technology. This TERI Mumbai and TERI Delhi, they adapted this green building concept to create some kind of a environmental friendly or eco-friendly library building. Okay, with these few words, again I take this opportunity to thank Father John and the entire DVK authorities provide me an opportunity to stand before you. And entire this article, the credit goes to Prof. Sundi, who is sitting in front of me. He always guiding and help me to prepare with a lot of comments and criticism. When you have a comment, then only we're going to have some kind of a good, fruitful results. Thank you very much, sir.